Hello everyone, welcome to the International Human Solidarity Day Forum. This UN holiday is celebrated because it is important as people to understand that we are all the same, and discrimination and bigotry is pointless. Appreciating our differences is the first step to world peace. Now I would like to welcome today's first speaker, Eva.
Hi everyone, I'm Eva. It's my pleasure to share my opinion with you all. I'm a Tai Ji Men Dizi. For me, Tai Ji Men is another home. My shifu teach us how to distinguish between right and wrong, true and false, behave with the conscience, and fulfill your obligations and rights as a world citizen with love and peace. I used to follow my shifu, Dr. Hong Daozi, to participate in the 20th International Conference of Chief Justice of the World, organized by the City Montessori School in Lucknow, India, in 2019. We invited everyone to endorse Declaration of International Day of Conscience. We hope everyone, from individuals to countries, can plant the seeds of conscience in their hearts, influence more and more people after they germinate and grow strong, and make everyone have a conscience through the butterfly effect. At this conference, I met the presidents, heads of state, justice of many countries. Everyone was very happy to see my shifu because they are all like-minded friends with love and peace. Regardless of race, religion, or nationality, we held hands and danced together. The happy appearance is still very moving in my heart. It truly makes me feel peace is so simple. In foreign countries, presidents and heads of states prize shifu very much. But ironically, in contrast, our own country has persecuted shifu and Tai Ji Men for 25 years. On December 19, 1996, the prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren prosecuted Tai Ji Men illegally based on false evidence. On July 13, 2007, the third instant ruling of the criminal court specified that Tai Ji Men is not guilty. Tai Ji Men did not commit tax evasion and did not violate the Tax Collection Act. Those earlier falsely detained Tai Ji Men Dizi and Zhang Menren were ruled to be compensated by the nation. Yet to date, the Taxation Bureau keeps sending Tai Ji Men the same tax bill over and over again, and even transferred the case to the Administrative Enforcement Agency for illegal seizure and auction. In July of this year, the International Religious Freedom Summit 2021 was grandly held in Washington, D.C. Over 1,000 heavyweight representatives from government agencies and NGOs from various countries attended the event. The Tai Ji Men case also received high international attention and discussions at this conference. Ambassador Sam Brownback, co-chair of the 2021 IRF Summit, visited the seminar of A Caution of Justice, the Tai Ji Men case, to express his concern about the case. He expressed his gratitude to be the winner as a partner of this summit and the author, Professor Massimo, for writing about the event we experienced in Taiwan. He emphasizes that religious freedom should be protected for everyone, everywhere, and at all times. While religious groups may practice their belief in various ways, the purpose of governments is to safeguard a person's freedom to select his or her own route to the future for his or her own soul. Dr. Massimo, editor-in-chief of Be the Winner and founder and director of the Center of Studies on New Religions, also said, Tai Ji Men case shows some injustice in Taiwanese tax bureaucracy, but we should remember that the root is firm. It is the case of freedom and religion and belief. And what the government did to Tai Ji Men is a violation of law. It is not a protest against Taiwanese governments or the Taiwanese systems. Those Tai Ji Men Dizi are Taiwanese citizens who love their country and understand Taiwan has a lot of problems. And precisely because of this, they want Taiwan to have a good image as a country where fraud is respected. And because it is a broadcast, I believe it deserves to be of international concern, and all the government agencies and NGOs caring for fraud should care for this case. Tai Ji Men case should not be misled as a private dispute between the citizen and the state, but understand this fundamental principle of freedom of religions and belief and respect for spiritual minorities are at work in this important case. On the day after the International Human Solidarity Day, we hope that through the purpose of the International Human Solidarity Day, all countries and peoples of the world will be united and committed to the promotion of peace, human rights, and social and economic development. With international power, people who suffer from all over the world can receive effective salvation. Also through international voices, we call on the Taiwan Authority to resolve the Tai Ji Men case as soon as possible, making Taiwan a country that truly enjoys human rights. Thank you.
As Eva said, the government must take action now and prove that Taiwan really is a democratic country that supports religious freedom. Also, Eva went into detail on the Tai Ji Men case and explained the wrongdoings of the government. Thank you, Eva. Recently, Tai Ji Men and the Rehabilitation 1219 Action Alliance went to Washington for the fourth time in 2021 to make a statement for Tai Ji Men. They held an international press conference. The editor-in-chief of Bitter Winter magazine, founder and managing director of the Center for Studies on New Religions, CESNUR, Dr. Massimo Introvigne, introduced the Tai Ji Men case to the global media at the press conference. Let's watch the video.
We asked you and those following us by Zoom or YouTube to be here today for a very important human rights case. It's now several years I have spoken in various fora, including international human rights events and academic conferences about the Tai Ji Men case. And I'm always afraid that some misunderstanding may happen, because I fully understand it will be a logical reaction to say that's a very complicated Taiwanese tax law, so let's take it to Taiwanese lawyers and they should solve it. But that's a total misunderstanding. It is not, and it never was, a pure tax case. As we said, it's on two accounts a human rights case. First, it's a human rights case because the first human right is freedom of religion or belief. And this case started in 96 when there was a massive denial of freedom of religion or belief in the post-authoritarian Taiwanese context. Whatever happened in subsequent years derives from this fundamental violation of freedom of religion and belief, and continues to be, to this very day, a violation of freedom of religion or belief. As Willy Fautré said, it is also a violation of human rights because it's a case of administrative corruption. As the United Nations have recognized, corruption is a violation of human rights it prevents citizens from enjoying their human rights. And so it's a serious problem of corruption. Even the US State Department, in their yearly human rights report, they praise Taiwan in many accounts, and rightly so, but they say Taiwan has a problem of bureaucratic corruption it should solve. And the Tai Ji Men case is a case where human rights of the Tai Ji Men community were violated through corruption. Is it a tax case? Is it a human rights case? But it's not an academic question, it's a very practical question. Because if it was a pure tax case, that's something to be solved by Taiwanese lawyers. Why bother to come to Washington, D.C. and discuss this case? Well, the answer is precisely because it's not primarily, and certainly it's not exclusively a tax case, it's a case of human rights. It is an established, recognized principle that it is the right and the duty of the international community to protect human rights. And it's needed that the international community takes an interest, as it is doing, and takes a stand in the violation of the Tai Ji Men human rights in Taiwan. Let me conclude with a personal remarks. I'm Italian, and in Italy we have this expression of a dialogue of deaf people. Two deaf people try to talk to each other, but they cannot have a dialogue. So in this case, we have on the one hand, the Tai Ji Men Dizi. Many Taiwanese scholars from leading universities, they are not Dizi, but they have written about this case. And growingly, dozens of international scholars and human rights activists who have participated in conferences and seminars and webinars about the Tai Ji Men case, and they all say, look, it's a question of freedom of religion or belief, and it's a question of human rights. And on the other hand, we have the Taiwanese authorities, which said, sorry, but for the year 92, the statute of limitation has expired, so there is nothing we can do. But this is false, because it's an internationally recognized principle that when gross violations of human rights are acknowledged, the situation should always be rectified. And if there is no administrative remedy, there is always a political remedy. That we live in an historical moment when Taiwan needs a maximum of support from its international friends, but a precondition for this support to be effective is for Taiwan to put its own house in order and get rid of these ghosts of its authoritarian past, settle the scores of the authoritarian past, and solve the cases coming from the authoritarian past. And today, the biggest score to be settled, the one generating the most massive domestic and international protest, is the Tai Ji Men case. It is not because we are against Taiwan, it's the contrary. It's because we are friends of Taiwan and we want to protect Taiwan in a moment of need, that we ask Taiwan, please get rid of this problem, which is damaging you in a crucial historical moment for you. Get rid of this problem, get rid of your bad past, walk in the path of democracy, and solve the Tai Ji Men case.
Thank you, Dr. Introvigne. Now let's welcome our second speaker, Tina.
Hi everyone, I'm Tina and I'm a current student. I saw a special tax case in an Asian democracy on the internet and saw it was still incompatible with democracy. So I like to share it with you. Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy was founded in 1966 and is an ancient empire of Qigong martial arts and self-cultivation. Yes, you heard it right. It is the ancient Qigong. Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy has never had any tax problems since 1966. In 1966, Wang Guanzheng, who was the prosecutor and the current deputy director of Ancient Against Corruption, created a case of political puritanism in order to cover up the Introvigne murder case in 1991 and the Liu bloodbath in 1996. The Taiwan murder case in 1996 and the Jiang Guoqing case in 1996. You can check it online. The case will be much more exciting than what I mentioned. So, the prosecutor, Wang Guanzheng, raised the huge number of people in Tai Ji Men in an attempt to become a media darling against the focus of the limelight. Wang Guanzheng used a false animals, black letters, and pitchwood swords as evidence for the prosecution of racing goblins, and relied on his eye to run the case, humiliating Tai Ji Men shifu and Dizi for years, and Tai Ji Men Dizi are still being victimized by the NTB for their illegal analyzed tax bills from 1991 to 1996. Tai Ji Men tax case has been violated for more than 24 years. On August 21, 2020, Tai Ji Men then intended for a self-cultivation center in the central motions of foreclosures by the Administrative Enforcement Agency 30 minutes early. The NTB corrected the tax bills for the years 1991 and 1993 to 1996 to 0 in 2019. However, what delayed only the tax bill for the year 1992? What did the NTB when the 1992 tax case alone? This article analyzes 4 reasons. First, the Taipei NTB deliberately, concretely, and falsified evidence. The main issue in the case was whether the teacher's gift was a gift or an income from profit seeking. Second, the Taipei NTB did not investigate the nature of the income in accordance with the authority and did not check the income item by item in accordance with the law. Instead, the tax officer, Judge Chen, issued a tax bill after copying the information transferred by the prosecutor as the investigation report. But the prosecutor was not an investigator with authority under Article 30 for the Tax Collection Act, which is against common sense and illegal. The explanation given by the National Taxation Bureau for the Central Area for the authority is investigations that endanger national security and interests are within the jurisdiction of the Bureau of Investigation of the Ministry of Justice, and the Bureau of Investigation of Ministry of Justice is responsibility of criminal investigations and has the public authority to administer tax evasion in accordance with the law. This passage advocates a tax administrative litigation to national security. Third, when Judge Shilin Huang was appointed as the judge of Taichung High Administrative Court. She held 4 sessions, and in the last session, she promised to dismiss the case. Afterwards, Judge Huang Shouling was transferred to the Supreme Administrative Court, but her successor, Judge Wu Fenxu, made a different decision on the same matter. In 1992, Judge Shi Linhuang blatantly violated Article 19 of the Administrative Litigation Law by recusing herself from the case and participating in the trial before the Supreme Administrative Court, thus bending the law. After the lower judge was promoted to a higher level, he continued to hear the same case, making the judicial mission protest reliability unless. First, Judge Shi Linhuang was transferred to the Supreme Administrative Court after holding 4 virtual trials in the Taichung High Administrative Court, and Judge Wu Fenxu, who took over the Bureau of Investigation of Requests Relevant Tax Information, and directly quoted the investigation information to make an unlawful decision. The Taipei High Administrative Court sent 2 letters to the National Taxation Bureau of the Central Area in May and July 2020 respectively, and also notified Administrative Enforcement Agency Introvigne branch asking the National Taxation Bureau of the Central Area to handle the 1992 tax bill in accordance with the same standards as the prior correction of the individual income tax to 0, and even requesting the withdrawal of the enforcement of Article 40 to the Tax Collection Act. However, the National Taxation Bureau of the Central Area and Administrative Enforcement Agency Hsinchu branch did not comply and forced an early caution. On August 21, 2020, in turns out that foreclosure actions can be made earlier. I don't know if this is the case in other countries too. What a joke! On August 21, 2020, the land of Tai Ji Men was first by auction by Administrative Enforcement Agency and returned to the state. The scholar pointed out that in the past, the reward for reporting bars was 30% of the confiscated property, but the amount of the tax bill and the amount of property seized were determined by the tax officials themselves. The land of Tai Ji Men was illegally auctioned off, returned to the state. But where did the performance bonus come from? It was paid by the entire population. The performance bonus for the auction of people's property by the Administrative Emergency Agency in 27% of the auction amount. If there is no cash income from a fair action, then the people's hard-earned tax dollar and behind the bonus that corrupt officials receive. Professor Zheng Jiangyan of the Department of Hakka Language and Social Science and National Central University said the reason why the government went to great lengths to oppose the people during the White Terror era because of the bonus system, which came from half of the confiscated property of the victims. The bonus system caused the officials to distort their humanity, and so far this system can be found in national, tax, burial, and administrative enforcement agency. The uprising of the people of Taiwan 70 years ago left a scar on Taiwan's history, but it was also a historical media of the people's resistance to government violence. Without the effort of our forefathers, Taiwan would not be able to enjoy the happiness of freedom and democracy today. But the legacy of those years still remains in the present. National Tax, Burial, and Administrative Enforcement Agency. Shouldn't we reform the bonus system that is so cruel to the people? In the administrative litigation of the 1992 tax case, the judge knew that they could not participate in the particular proceeding and recused themselves when they should have done so, violating the principle of the interest of the trial level and the spirit of fair trial of ICCPR and ICSCR. However, Tai Ji Men has been accepting Dizi for more than half a century in accordance with the ancient rituals, and the front has been the same every year. So why is there only 1 year when the tax has to be paid? I'm just a student. Why don't the law enforcers understand? No matter which country's experts and scholars call for it, you all treat it as air and think the country is short of money. It's better to pay a little bit. There is no tax refund to the people for over taxation, but chanting democratic slogans every day. Other democratic countries give tax refunds, but you don't seem to. Did you return all the laws you learned to the school after you were admitted to public employment? This is the end of my speech. Thank you.
Tina, I think you're right. It seems like the officials forget everything they learned about law when they get a government position and just do whatever they want. Thank you, Tina. Our last speaker today is our youngest. Let's welcome Bobby.
Hi, my name is Bobby Chen, currently an undergraduate studying in Canada. As a lifetime member of human rights and peace movement related NGOs from Taiwan and the US, I wish to address the importance of human solidarity value. To have respect, equality, inclusion, and social justice, to involve a mutual commitment and obligation as a member of the society of this world. This is part of our duty as a global citizen. I would like to share something that has counteracted against solidarity values here in Taiwan that must be changed for good. In Taiwan, many citizens have been suffering due to a few high-up government officials' secret robberies and threats, all because of the bonus money system within our Taiwanese government. It is a system that a democratic country should never have, since it promotes corruption and dictatorship. You might ask how the bonus money system works. So whenever our government gives out a fine or seizes a property, they will be rewarded with bonus money for their case. These government officials' greed for the bonus money has led them to illegally fine and seize properties against the people with no solidarity in mind. Many victims trapped by these unlawful acts have lost their house, family, money, and their whole life. And one of the most talked about examples is the Tai Ji Men case. With evidence from unjustifiable way the government handled this case, it reveals corruption and dictatorship within Taiwan's government, which has put the lives of 24 million people on this democratic island at risk. If you haven't heard of this case, please search it up, Google it, understand it, and voice out for change, because every bit adds up for this serious matter. I urge people to give time to understand your surroundings. If there is a problem to be changed, stand up for it and don't be a bystander. Voice out for your concerns and take action. It shows that you care. Use your ability to bring a positive impact on the society we all share. As a global citizen, all of us have the responsibility to make a better future for our world with solidarity in mind. Believe in yourself and don't wait to take action. Thank you.
As Bobby said, we all have the ability and responsibility to make a change in our society and the world. No matter big or small, anyone can make a difference. Thank you, Bobby. The Tai Ji Men case has been a burden to Tai Ji Men and its Dizi for 2.5 decades, and last Sunday we were back on Kaidao Road fighting for and hoping that the Tai Ji Men case would be resolved. The day this case is solved will go down in history due to its significance to so many people. This will conclude our forum for today. I want to thank all of our speakers today and everyone watching at home. Everyone be safe. Bye-bye.